everyone, and welcome to the Contingency Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Well, Darth, you ready for Star Wars to be taken over by another franchise?
No. I think we just need to kill it so it stops happening.
Well, I mean, if it did, we can maybe make up some dances. You know, you ready to floss? You ready to?
Yeah, and every season you can come out with new characters.
Get some
beloved characters.
Sweet skins.
Do you think that they would animate R2-D2 and C-3PO dancing?
Sure. Why not? Why not? Oh, man.
Have C-3PO do the floss. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Let's do
in the
it.
most robotic way possible.
Yeah. God. Well, anyway, folks, we've got quite a bit to talk about today. We're gonna get into the Star Wars Hunters trailer thing, which basically looks like a Fortnite crossover, and then also discuss Tatooine Ghost, a book by Troy Denning, which I'd kind of been looking forward to getting into for a little while.
Get into some Legends content.
Yeah, exactly. Should be fun. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get her started. How's your week going?
Oh, spent so much money. Just want to end. No, too bad. So bad. No.
Yeah,
but it's been pretty good. Had to go out and buy a dryer. That's been
adult purchases.
Decent, hot, very hot week compared to the last couple. I've been a little miserable outside.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. Has it been hot? I mean, it's been hot, but not like hot, has it?
After 2 weeks of like fall weather, it was kind of warm.
Yeah,
I don't know about you. It's pretty cool around me.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah, but I think it's still good to, claw on or grab onto that last little coattails of summer. A lot of people are probably still really into that.
No, everyone just wants fall around me.
Bunch of basic B words. Oh man, all the pumpkin spice is out now.
Christmas stuff was out 3 weeks ago at Lowe's.
Well, the Halloween candy was out 2 weeks ago, and I was like, you do realize we have a little ways for even that, right? Like, I want fresh candy, okay?
Right. Like, do you really need to buy candy a month and a half ahead?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I don't really even buy too much candy anymore. I will say though, what was my favorite one? I actually think my favorite one might have been from Justin's, who, like, I know because of like some of their individual little peanut butter packets, like the Justin's peanut butter, which is just straight peanuts, which is very odd. I mean, I don't eat a ton of peanut butter, but when I do now, I just want like natural peanut butter. But anyway, I like peanuts. But it's an epidemic in the store now that everybody and their brother is now making, I guess, what would you call them? Like all natural or organic peanut butter cups. So there's like 4 new brands that just showed up. So I've been trying all these. I'm a sucker for a peanut butter cup.
Is that the ones that we tried on your other channel?
So we did.
Were those all organic?
We did try one brand, but there have been more recently, and some of them aren't very good, but some of them are. But yeah, I love a good peanut butter cup. Reese's is great, but a lot of these are using like better chocolate, better peanut butter, and so forth. So yeah, that's been interesting. But when I buy candy, it's like I don't really eat much in the way of candy anymore. So all this Halloween stuff, it's like, yeah, I could get a Kit Kat, but I don't want an entire, 100 bag of Kit Kats. And I also, like, when Halloween gets here, I don't really want to sit out here and give away candy, but I might put a little pail out there so like one kid can go steal all the candy because kids are terrible.
What will happen is you'll have like 5 to 10 kids that are actually honest, and I'll take one piece.
Yes.
And it'll start to empty enough where someone will just use that as their trick or treat pail.
Yeah, no,
just take the whole thing.
That's always how it goes. And the thing is like I remember, trick or treating and stuff back in the day, and I'm the kind of guy that would want to be the full size candy bar guy. You know what I mean? Because that person, we were all like, that's a pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy.
Yeah,
you know,
you're not getting
like
TV'd.
Yeah, man.
Now the candy corn guy and the apple guy was good.
Yeah,
I like candy corn, but don't give me candy.
I'm not big on candy. It's just sugar. And like the caramel apples are fine, but like, I don't know, man. That's like one of the worst things on your teeth. And then you just get you're just trying to eat the caramel, which in that particular form is just the worst. And then there's just an apple. It's like, I mean, I like apples. Yeah. I'm fine with apples. I just don't want it in that particular medium. I think it's one of the stupidest things.
You know, when you think about the people that handed out the candy corn, it was just candy corn. They weren't, I mean, it wasn't in a bag. It wasn't wrapped. It's kind of disgusting when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, did you wash your hand before you came out here and started handing out candy corn?
Yep. Yeah. Well, you know, the funny thing is like, even though we went trick-or-treating, we didn't really wind up eating a ton of that candy.
No, most of it went bad.
Well, it was either that or Dad would eat the candy periodically over time.
As he's sifting through it, every 10th piece of candy was tribute for him for sifting through.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. The sift, you had to sift through it, make sure there weren't any razor blades or ecstasy in it, or you know, all that good sort of stuff. You know, the fun stuff.
They spent all that time doing that. We spent all that time walking around for us to eat like 5 pieces, and the rest of it to go bad in the pantry.
Yeah, no, that's basically exactly what happened. But yeah, no, I just thought that was funny to have all that coming up. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I look forward to the fall turning too. Yeah, it's a little cooler out, and the changing leaves, and the time passes, and I have another birthday, and I'm one step closer to the grave. So that's fun.
It's great. It gets you in the mood for Halloween.
Oh goodness. But yeah, it's good backpacking weather, and we really need to get off our butts and get going at some point.
Hey, technically I am camping right now.
What?
I'm technically camping right now because when I get done with this podcast, I'm going to head over to Kokoza, about, an hour away from me, and I'm going to go sit at a campsite with other campers in my tent. It's great. I'm technically camping.
Oh, yeah,
it's
man.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Appreciate it. But
well, it's not real camping. There's no hiking trail.
No, I get it. Well, I mean, I like camping if it's like a group of people, just like at a site or whatever. It's fun when there's people, but I wouldn't do it just alone. So anyway, we do need to get out on trail here before too long.
We do. The weather's perfect for it now.
Yeah, weather's good.
I did finally bust out that tent that you gave me, the 4-person one.
Oh yeah, the bigger one.
Sweet.
Yeah, that is actually quite an old tent. Funny enough, I don't remember when I don't remember when I bought that. I bought that like years ago. But the thing is a tank. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It's not.
I
really,
mean, it's heavy duty. Like I've got stakes for the rain fly, which my old one just snapped into the poles.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's not what I would call a backpacking tent. It's a very heavy tent, but it's if you're just like family or whatever, or you take the kid out or whatever, and you just you're not really going anywhere special. It's a nice little thing, and it's good for kids in the backyard, and if they want to do that kind of junk too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a good heavy, like I said, heavy duty tent.
Right. It's funny. I was setting it up, and my father-in-law was watching. He's like, "Did you guys bring an extension cord?" I'm like, "What?" It's like, "Well, it's got that power cord pouch."
It does.
I'm like, what do I need it for? I'm not going to use that for my phone or anything. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I came here for more primitive camping, even though you guys got a $30,000 camper beside me.
Yeah, no, I think that thing's so old. If I remember correctly, I believe it even has like a pocket in there for like a CD player. I think it's specifically labeled with like a CD player. That's how old it is.
Yeah, it's great. I use that to just throw my glasses and phone in. But yeah, clearly it was the width for that.
Yeah, that's so funny. But yeah, man, my week's been, fine. I got a tattoo, first one in my life.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Yeah, decided to finally just do that. Now I'm probably going to go grab another one. Didn't feel like anything at all. Dude was really nice who did it.
That's a pretty meaty area. I feel like it'd be kind of...
I don't know,
easy to do
I don't know anything about it, but I didn't really feel anything there, but I feel like... just based on the experience, like underside of like bicep area probably wouldn't be great. Rib area. I know a lot of people do rib tattoos and side tattoos. I feel like that would like tickle at some points and then hurt like a B word in others. But like
I feel like back would probably be the easiest, honestly.
I don't want to get a back
on either side of the spine.
True. I don't want to get a back tattoo. I wouldn't be able to see it. I actually want to view this stuff. This is like visual art for me. And
right.
But anyway, I got a little Lord of the Rings inspired thing. It's the Lonely Mountain with a little Smaug based upon the map drawing from the book. It's in the book, but it's you see it in The Hobbit as well.
Right.
So yeah, I was pretty happy about that. Got that done on Wednesday. But aside from that, just really work and doing other stuff. I'll also tell you what, I forgot that we were doing this book until like yesterday.
Really?
So I sped through it. And it's not a long audio book, but I had to speed through it because I was like, I thought we were doing comics. I looked down at the schedule. I was like, oh no. I need to get this done.
It's funny because yesterday I had this weird moment where I thought we were doing comics. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I just read this book and we're doing, and I went through. It's like, oh, that's next week. Thank God.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, we've got a lot of comics to go to, folks, and obviously, we're gonna stitch in some other stuff here and there, but yeah. So let's go ahead and roll into this Hunters trailer thing that we got. So what were your initial thoughts on this game?
Well, I was excited at first just for the Sith aspect, I thought this was going to be a new established character until I kind of realized what was going on. It's like, well, I guess it could be fun for like 20 minutes, but I'm personally not all that excited about this game. It's not my style of game. Well, no,
it's not mine either. But the thing is like, Battlefront had that online multiplayer battle royal thing. And that's, this basically looks like they said, we want our Nintendo Star Wars Fortnite. That's what it looks like to me. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. There's no way this game is going to be uber popular unless there is some mechanic about it or something that's super interesting. But it looks like from the trailer, it's going to be confined in like an arena style
like a true
area,
arena,
right?
Yeah.
That people aren't gonna.
Which really, there goes all your sniper characters. You can't have Crosshair. You can't have clone snipers. That's gonna be useless. So.
Well, they might change up the terrain, but like Chivalry. So Chivalry, I don't know if it's Chivalry 2, but there's a new Chivalry game out, right? And I've seen some gameplay of that, and it's basically like the gameplay that I've seen a lot of dudes in just an arena, just jousting and doing their general knight stuff. But I think, but that's with hand weapons. I think there might be some archers in Chivalry. I'm not sure. I barely played it back in the day, and I don't really remember it all that well anyway. But this is, there's melee characters. Obviously, there's like this Sith, and then there's like a Jedi droid
Jedi, which is stupid.
Which I don't get. And then you had like an Imperial trooper with a heavy gun.
You had a Wookiee.
Yeah, so
and you had your Mandalorians. You had what's the Mandalorian's little helper that says, "This is the way." What's that?
Oh, what were those Ugnaughts?
Yeah, Ugnaughts. An Ugnaught in essentially a droideka.
Was that the mech? Yeah, the mech knot.
Yeah. That was kind of funny. That was
yeah. Cool. Let's put it this way. What's the point of the game? Just another battle royale.
It's to appease, what's popular right now. Now, I think what could have been a better spin for this game is if it was 1v1 and you had an entire map and it was populated and you were trying to hide. One was a hunter, one was hunted, and then you would eventually clash once you found the person and have a big battle.
Well, that's kind of what the what's that new game called that just came out? I just watched gameplay on it. Dang it, I forget. But essentially, the premise of the game is you start as a guy who you're living in an indefinite 24-hour loop, and like you're being hunted because you're supposed to be trying to destroy the loop. And then, but that's kind of one of those hunter-hunted things where, you're kind of being hunted by this chick, and I won't spoil the story, but you're being hunted by this woman here, and then but you're also hunting the rest of the people in the loop, so it's possible that you could be killed off.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think I let me see if I can find the name of it. Death Loop. That's what it's called. Death Loop. It just came out, but like
I haven't heard of it.
I remember seeing trailers of this and I thought it was like really stupid. Like it looked stupid, like it just looked like some sort of bouncing off the wall like battle royal thing. But no, it actually has a whole like story that you have to learn from, because there was also that the very short top-down game, I think it's called 12 Minutes or whatever, with Willem Dafoe's voice in it. Which was I thought the twist in that game was dumb, but whatever. I thought that the idea was really cool and the gameplay looked fine. But but Deathloop actually is one of the first newer games where I thought, oh, well, this kind of looks neat. But anyway, yeah, I think that maybe if you want that, try Deathloop. Because at least in that you have sort of like a hunted, but you also have to like kill other people in there, and there seems to be a pretty decent map to that. But yeah, this hunter thing, I'm hoping that it's better than the trailer portrayed it to be. But like, what did you think of the? Granted, it wasn't in game, but like the animation style from the trailer.
The animation style definitely seemed like a hero-based game, like the Paladins or Overwatch. I mean, it was decent. I didn't mind that at all.
Yeah, it reminded me of Overwatch.
Yeah. It's not my personal taste. It's not something for me, but it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't like super blocky or anything. And it wasn't like Disney's what was the thing they did with like the little plastic characters you put on a pad? You had to buy the characters.
Oh,
to
the
actually
amiibos?
Yeah. Because like those were super blocky and the proportions were wrong. But this was kind of in the same vein of that, just better, more well done, I think.
Gotcha.
I did like the design of, I thought the Mandalorians looked cool. And I'm glad it wasn't Boba Fett, because I thought it was Boba Fett right at first. Well, and actually, the Wookiee was pretty sweet, especially with the axes. I thought that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's somebody online who has gameplay. Okay, so it's really stupid how they're doing it. It's somebody commentating on another probably streaming. So, I mean, gameplay-wise, it's, it kind of reminds me of, like, of Overwatch. But it looks like it looks like it's an actual map. They have maps. It's not just, like, an arena thing. Dude, I don't care. That's good. I don't care about your stupid stream, bro. Nobody cares about you. Anyway, so, yeah, there is some...
I'm surprised there's gameplay for this, seeing as how it's slated for next year.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's probably like you know how you can put together a little bit of gameplay. Okay, so
I'm watching it too.
Yeah, so they've got like a saber throw. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know, dude. She does some
this robotic Jedi is so stupid.
There aren't very many characters. 1, 2, 3, 9 characters. At least from here. So, yeah, I don't know. It looks like a cross between like Overwatch and Fortnite.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this one loop of a video of the robot Jedi, and there's like everyone's in this one little tiny area. So it seems like everyone's really bullet spongy because you're getting hit a lot. You're not dying.
Yeah,
so I don't know how much I like that. Like the Udnot has a shield.
Yeah.
So it just feels like everything's going to be a really long process trying to kill somebody. I'm not sure if this is going to be something I'd even try.
It is very little gameplay. It's like a very short loop, and then they have some pictures of stuff. So I am also. It looks like it's team based, There's like a team-based component as well. So maybe that'll be like the online multiplayer thing. Oh, you can be two Jawas standing on each other's shoulders.
I know, that was... And they like got grenades or something, and that's their weapon.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad.
The Sith
Can we just please... Can we just please acknowledge the fact that the pinnacle of Star Wars video game combat was heroes versus villains, Battlefront? It's never going to get better than that. We just have to accept it and move on.
Yeah, well, anyway, is there any more we really need to say about this game? I mean, it's what it is.
No, I will forget completely about its existence until it comes out.
Probably. All right, cool. Let's move on to Tatooine Ghost.
Yeah.
All right, so Tatooine Ghost, 2003 book from Troy Denning. And Troy Denning has done a couple of Star Wars novels, Star by Star in our New Jedi Order. What was this? I think, what series was this one in? He did some stuff in the Legacy of the Force, a couple of books in the Legacy of the Force. He did some books in the Fate of the Jedi series, which is cool. Crucible. Okay, yeah, I remember that. So he's definitely done a lot of different stuff here, but he definitely seems to stick to like Han Solo.
Yeah.
That seems to be...
And I would say he does Han very well.
Well, I'll tell you, initial thoughts about this book. I enjoyed this book so much.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, it is probably one of the best Han and Leia focused stories outside of New Jedi Order. Honestly, it might even trump all the New Jedi Order stuff.
It might.
Just to throw it out there.
I think he understands the characters very well. And
yeah.
I guess what I'll also say is, you know how I've been kind of critical of droids lately?
Yeah.
C-3PO was in this book, but he was just there. He was just like a little sprinkle. There was not much, and I was like, that's how you use him. That's how you use C-3PO in these books. It's just it's just a little sprinkle. But like, I think the biggest thing here that I really enjoyed was Leia and her connection to the Force. Like the Force finally coming to her. And I'll tell you what, the one thing that I drew from this is, didn't the Force like sort of feel a little bit High Republic here? Like, listen to the Force, stop fighting the Force, go with the Force's will and not your own.
Yeah.
I thought that...
Yeah, a little bit.
I thought that was kind of neat. Because like even with Luke, sometimes he's going more with the will of everything else at times. You know what I mean? He's trying to fight the battles and maybe not
make everyone happy.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was cool. And then this book ties in a ton to events from Phantom Menace and Clone Wars as well. So
yeah, I mean, every little bit with Shmi. Honestly, that was probably one of my favorite parts of the book. I really enjoyed the little diaries.
Yes. So we'll get to that. So you want to do a little bit of a kind of a short plot summary, maybe? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which the Wikipedia plot summary in this is kind of pathetic. It's like one paragraph, but it does sum up the book pretty well.
I think the thing is that I think the plot's actually really simple. I think there's a lot to expound upon, but I think it's really simple plot. So essentially, Leia, Han, Chewbacca, C-3PO are on their way to Tatooine because there is an auction and they're looking for this Alderaanian moss painting called Killik Twilight. And you might think, oh, so they're just going for a painting. Well, yeah, but the problem is that the painting, Killik Twilight, and again, like a moss painting, like, do you think
it's a special moss that like doesn't reproduce and
you have to water it?
You can't make any more. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of an interesting little...
Kind of like a Naboo thing, honestly. That's the first thing I thought of. Like, this should have been in Naboo.
Yes.
Alderaan.
Yeah, that's a good... that's a good thought. I like that. However, the big problem here is that hidden within the painting is a key code for Shadowcast, which is like Rebel Alliance, sort of like piggybacking off of existing.
It's Rebel Alliance dial-up.
Yeah, that's actually good. That's accurate. But Shadowcast is being used currently, and the fear is that even with an old code, I mean, an old code can still check out, but even with an old code, the Empire could potentially crack into the network, and it could kill a lot of spies, because this is basically the spy network. So the network transmitted encrypted messages within commercial advertisements via the HoloNet. So the commercials you get could potentially be piggybacked with a rebel signal, thus being able to communicate in a different way. Not bad. It survived for 9 years. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it gets a little bit deeper here, but we have to go find this painting. So they get to Tatooine. However, upon entrant to the space, they find that the Empire is already here. Now, this is all post Return of the Jedi. So we're dealing with the Imperial Remnant. Now, in Legends, the Imperial Remnant is definitely still a force. Okay.
Yeah. And you definitely see it in this book. I mean, they're pretty BA, actually.
This particular thing, but this is being led by Grand Admiral Thrawn. We hear the Chimera being mentioned, the ship. We know the Chimera.
And we actually get mentions to Paleon as well.
Exactly. Cool. We're going to talk about him too. But upon entering space, they kind of have this dogfight. Han tries to throw out a bribe. I thought that was funny. Didn't take that. The commanders are a little bit more sharp here. They do eventually get to the planet. They get to the auction. One of the more interesting things is they had disguises, which we'll talk about here in a second. We meet a lot of friends from the past. Then the auction happens. Auction doesn't quite go as planned. The painting is taken away. They have to go find the painting, which basically kind of they encounter several important places within Tatooine. We explore Leia's Force connection a bit more. At the end, we are able to destroy the key code so it doesn't fall into enemy hands, and then we're able to get away safely at the end. Now, there is a subtext that there is a mission. Wedge Antilles division is on a mission, and potentially if we can't get this key code, if it falls in the Imperial hands, blah, 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 there's potential the mission can go awry as well. So there's a little bit of subtext there. But the stakes on that seem relatively low, because it's not like they can crack the code in 24 hours or something like that.
Right.
So I guess with that sort of with that plot going on, what do you think we should touch on first?
Well, let's just kind of talk about how well this author builds the Tatooine environment in general, because we get to see everything that we fell in love with Tatooine in A New Hope.
Yeah, I think so.
Everything was really expounded upon, I think, really well.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of the things that I was particularly happy with, they didn't shy away from anything important, because the fact is that things do interconnect.
Sure.
We got to see Kitster and what was this other? Wald, the Rodian, that we saw in Phantom Menace, and now they're older. We got to see how Anakin is still considered a hero on Tatooine because of the old Boonta Eve classic, and people still remember that.
Which is, I mean, it's something that's kind of mentioned in Phantom Menace, but it's really expounded upon, like, humans shouldn't be able to do this pod race.
Right.
Like, it is a death sentence for humans.
Yeah. And that was one of the things, is like Leia had pointed out, because another part of the subtext here is Leia dealing with her Force connection, and basically the Force trying to guide her away from the hatred that she has for her father.
Right. And at this point, we had already gone through Anakin's Force Ghost trying to beg forgiveness through, I forget which book that was dealt with in, but clearly it was not taken well. Obviously, we know this, and she's still dealing with that hatred. It's kind of cool to see the dichotomy, because when she talks with Luke, about like, well, did you know he was a pod racer? Did you know this? He's like, yep, I've already kind of gone through this path. I've researched our father. I know a lot about him, and I don't, I don't hate him like you do. I understand what he went through.
Yeah, and that's kind of an interesting thing too, because like Luke lived on Tatooine. He is a Skywalker.
Right.
So there's absolutely zero chance that he didn't know about his father, the potential local hero. Now, granted, Ben had kind of led him down the path of, yeah, your father was a great star. He was the best star pilot I had ever known. And he died. Who killed him? Some guy. I mean, he's just dead. Why do you keep asking questions, Luke? Here, watch me force levitate something.
Don't question why I have this lightsaber. Just take it. Shut up.
But the funny thing is like he wouldn't have known anything about his father. Of course he did. He lived on the planet his father grew up on. So I thought that was interesting. I also thought it was interesting, like Leia learning this stuff and like he was a slave. He was a slave? Yeah. Anakin Skywalker was a slave? It's like, yeah, you do realize that kids were born into slavery too, right? And it's like, I mean.
Yeah, and they don't shy away from the slavery topic, which I do appreciate. It was really well done, I think, especially everything with Shmi. And which one of Anakin's buddies, like, well, don't act like it was a dirty thing. It's not like we got into debt or something. We were born into this. We didn't have a choice.
I believe that was Wald.
Was it Wald?
I'm pretty sure Wald was the one who was saying that when they were in his shop. Now here's the other thing too. Do you want to just do the Shmi and like come back to Leia's Force stuff? Yeah. Okay. Let's do the Shmi line because this kind of deals with the family more, so to speak. Yeah. So Leia was given a video diary from one of the Darklighters. We get to go to the Darklighters sort of like ranch or farm or whatever. Yeah. Which again brings up Gavin Darklighter, who's alive
which is
here.
Awesome. He's really low in the ranks right now, and squadron, but he's starting to climb, and he's well known.
Yeah. He's flying with Wedge, and Gavin is. I mean, we saw him in the movies as well. But yeah, Gavin was Luke's friend, and this was something that we had kind of heard very early on. It's like, oh, my friends are leaving. Yeah, Gavin left, and but anyway, family's still there, so they give Leia this video journal, which turns out to be her grandmother Shmi's, and getting to kind of have Shmi's thoughts put into writing, I thought was really, really cool. And it also, I want to discuss Watto a bit because, like, I never hated Watto, but the thing is I think...
but he's a slave owner.
Yeah, true, but...
Can't love Watto, but at the same time, this really humanizes him.
Yeah, but if you're constantly in the realm of things, and even if they're bad, they're degrees. I don't think that Watto's evil. He's, profiteering from the landscape he's in, but not excusing slavery or slave owning, obviously. But I mean, you have to think about the context of the universe, and it's very hard on the Outer Rim. Again, not excusing it, but it is what it is. But anyway, so with Watto, and I was trying to think of the book we had went over where we visited Watto briefly. If you remember that, like it was much later in his life or whatever. I just can't remember where that. Maybe it was one of the Queen's books or something like that, or
probably.
But anyway, so Watto in this book, through Shmi's eyes, Shmi is clearly like his friend. It's like his only friend here, and he clearly misses Anakin. And I think that, it can be twofold. Obviously, Anakin was very good at what he did. He fixed everything for him. I'm sure he misses that, but I do actually think that he misses the boy, Yeah,
I think at some level, he looked at him as almost like his own son in a way. I mean, he raised him. He clearly was fond of him. He didn't want to give him up.
Well, and the thing is like, we never had any sort of description of him, like, abusing them. Working them, yes, but not necessarily.
As a boss, he would yell at him if he's being lazy or something. Again, really touchy subject here, obviously. Not a boss, slave owner, but at the same time, like, he never treated them poorly in any depictions in the movies or books that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it. But again, cruel landscape, not something that we would ever condone, obviously. But
at the same time, how well would Annie and Shmi have done without him? I'm not trying to justify it, but we wouldn't have the events unfold of all the movies without him.
Yeah,
in a way.
So, but we get to see the relationship between her and Klieg Lars, which I thought was really kind of fun because he, and when we meet him,
good to see Owen.
Yeah, when we meet him, Klieg in the movies, he's like he's an old man. I think he lost an eye, he lost a leg. He's been run down. His wife was taken, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this was a younger-ish man who they fell in love, and I thought that was really sweet. And we also got to see some of the potential for Owen as well. Because, and again, all back to Qui-Gon flipping Jinn. Qui-Gon didn't abandon Shmi entirely. No. He understood that he couldn't just free her. And I think that maybe he understood, too, that there was a connection that Watto didn't want to break. Because here's the thing. Klieg had been trying to buy Shmi's freedom for a while. He's like, no. You got to give me more than a speeder. That sort of deal. And Qui-Gon basically brought the scenario to life that would eventually lead to her freedom. And I think he understood that. I think he understood Watto. I think he understood how the Outer Rim works. And I think he understood that I can't leave her to this. Now, I'll be honest with you, man. I kind of wonder if she wasn't freed, would she still be alive? I don't know.
And honestly, if you want to go down the theory rabbit hole, you could say that if Qui-Gon hadn't helped free her, then Anakin might not have gone down the dark path he started.
Well, but I'll tell you,
have died from the Raiders, and he wouldn't have killed him.
True, but I'd rather live free than die a slave. I think most people would generally choose that. I think it's.
Well, she clearly enjoyed the free time that she had.
Yeah, and
obviously more than any other time in her life.
Right, but she also expressed her love for Owen as well, which I thought was really sweet.
And in the diaries, she mentions a lot. It's like, I can't wait for you to meet him, Annie. Yeah. I think they'll be great friends. I loved him, but not. And the way she dealt with it, like explained, like I don't look at him like as a replacement for you, but he's a great kid,
second son,
and,
just another kid.
Yeah.
So I really did like that, and I like that Leia was able to see this. Because the fact of the matter is like, from the movie standpoint, she only has like a vague memory of her mother, right? Her mother died in childbirth. And we don't really have, there's some stuff out there where she kind of explores some of her mother's stuff, but like, when are we going to just get a book where Leia just goes and chills on like Naboo or something,
Right.
Like, I don't know if that's happened.
It might be corny, but I would love to see a book where Anakin's Force Ghost actually speaks with Leia about her mother. We actually get some first-hand accounts, or there are other people. Maybe she runs into one of the handmaids. She's an old woman, and she gets to talk about, I was your mother's handmaiden. This is what we did together. I think that'd be cool. That would have actually been a really cool perspective for the Queen series.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look around maybe in some lore to see if Leia ever did go to Naboo. How cool would it have been if she... I assume handmaidens are still alive. What if she... Wouldn't it have been, sick if she actually met one of those handmaidens? Like, just, there's Sabe right there or something.
Right.
I don't know, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I think that'd be a cool perspective for those books where, like, the overarching thing is one of the handmaidens is telling all the stories that unfold in the books to Leia.
Wow. What an end. That'd be a good end to stuff. But anyway, I do think it was really good to see this passing on of Shmi's life, because I hate to say it, but she became a bit of a throwaway character in the movies.
Well, unfortunately, she did. It would have been kind of nice if in episode 2 we might have had a little bit of contact before she was taken, maybe just mention like we've talked recently or something,
Yeah, that's tough, but at any rate, I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And again, getting back to the Force side of things, I think that this is the Force attempting to help Leia reconcile. Because here's the thing.
Yes.
Luke is the warrior. He's the remnant, the final remnant of the Republic, of the old Republic. Leia, I think, is very much the future, because the Force is now with her. This book, we're going off of old legends, not new canon, which I still think is valid, even in new canon. But I think Leia is potentially the future, the moving on. It's like, I'm not a warrior. I am Jedi, but I am not a warrior. I will be one with the Force, but I'm not going to fight like you do. I'm not going to fight like the old way. I'm not going to be the general. I'm going to be the leader, maybe, but I'm also going to just let the Force kind of guide me where it will. And
whereas with Luke, it's almost like the Force wills him to be the old guard, you know?
Yeah, kind of.
Just the remnant, in a way.
And it kind of makes you wonder, like, it makes me wonder, so we had Luke, I mean, Vader defeated the Emperor, but anyway, we had Luke's contribution. We had all this stuff with Luke. And then Luke goes on his journeys. He attempts to rebuild. He fails, and then he goes away. And I'm wondering if the will of the Force kind of said, "You've done what omnipotent.
Your destiny is fulfilled.
Yeah, your destiny is fulfilled. The Emperor is destroyed. You redeemed your father, helped redeem your father. Now it is your time.
You brought balance to the Force in your own way.
Yeah. Now it's your time to be the last warrior Jedi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you now have to stand aside and let your twin carry on into the future. And I honestly, if that would have been ever the idea behind the sequel trilogy, and then you could bring Rey and whoever in to be the next generation, I think that would have been an excellent theme to explore in the new way. And I'll tell you what, that has not been explored in prior movies. That would have been an original thing.
Very true, especially when you think of the dichotomy of Rey's following Leia's path, whereas Kylo followed Luke's path in a way, and see where that ended up.
Oh, dude. Oh, it's so juicy.
Because eventually it goes to the dark side.
Oh, dude, that's so juicy. Like, the warrior path, this path was right for you, but now you see how it goes, why it has to die out. And even that ties into Kylo's kill it. It's like kill it and everything. Yeah. But, oh, dude, that is so juicy. I really wish that would have been somebody's thought.
Yeah.
Oh,
if we could have kept Legends continuity, not necessarily, obviously you have the difference between Kylo and the twins, but you still would have had that Jason. You could have done the same story with him. But all the things that were built upon in Legends, I mean, it's really sad that you can't connect that to the sequel trilogy.
I'm with you. I love that idea
so much of
now.
So much of that really could line up perfect.
No doubt.
And honestly, the Luke that we love isn't necessarily the movie Luke. I think I'm speaking for both of us, but I'll say the Luke that we love is from Legends books. It's the playful Luke. It's the
kind of OP.
The true, like, well beyond Yoda's spec master Jedi, just the perfect pinnacle of power.
Yeah.
And to see that Luke in that continuity turn into the Luke we see in Last Jedi, I think in a way, if we had that bridge to really deal with why he lost faith in the Jedi path, it would have been a lot more impactful to see him as a hermit.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna title this episode. I'm gonna give it a clickbait name. It'll be. We'll have to start out with Kathleen Kennedy is rumored to be leaving Lucasfilms, and new leak for replacement sequel trilogy.
Honestly, you wouldn't even have to replace it. I think you would just have to delete a few scenes from the movies and add a few. It'd be great.
I love that idea. I think honestly, like, I'm glad that kind of just came out there organically, because that's a good idea. Let's go ahead and
another thing before we jump ahead. We have our Force stuff. We have clearly the Force trying to push Leia towards forgiveness, but one thing that I think is cool is it's not just the Force that's pushing her to forgive. You actually have Han's take on Anakin growing up. And ironically enough, even after all they've been through, all the, Carb 9, all that, he actually understands why Anakin became who he became and doesn't hate him for it, and actually defends him against Leia talking down at him as a child.
Yeah.
Like she has a hatred for Anakin at all stages of his life.
Well, yeah. Well, the issue also becomes, I think Han, just with his upbringing, can kind of understand how somebody could go bad really quick. He's probably seen it more times than not. He's probably towed the line more times than any of the rest of them. But the thing about Han is, and like we saw in the Solo movie, where Kira basically says, you're the good guy. It's like, I'm not the good guy. I'm the
right.
bad guy. It's like, no, but you are the good guy. You are the guy who always comes and helps his friends despite risking everything.
And Leia mentions that too. That's what she loves in him. Is when the chips are down, he's going to be there. He's going to take care of the rebellion, even though he's not technically a member of it.
Yeah, for sure. So no, I think we could just move naturally sort of into Han here, because Han in the very beginning, he's very much in control. He's got the plans. It's not this rope-a-dope kind of thing. He's got more of a strategic mind behind his actions. It's not just this bumbling idiot that we sometimes see. It's that he knows all the tricks of the trade. He knows and can read Imperials. He's been doing this for years. This isn't new to him. So getting to see some of the flashes of his brilliance as a captain and as a smuggler and as a scoundrel.
And Chewie too, for that matter, because they're a true instinct team in this book.
No doubt. I just thought that was really refreshing to see as well. And then also to see their love, their actual love, because there are books, even in old canon, where there's a strain. I mean, New Jedi Order, we've seen the strain, but this is kind of like peak before kids, still very much in love. There was that part at the beginning that was a little, could be a little cringy about, what was it, reading your schematics or something like that? It's like,
no, it was C-3PO was like, your primary circuits seem to have been crossed, and he's like, I'll make sure her primary circuits are okay.
Yeah, that was funny. It was a little 90s cheese, even though it's 2003. It's still a little cheese, but it was funny. I mean, it's fun to have those sort of like relationship, jokes.
Yeah.
But I like that. I thought that was and even like later on when he hears Leia listening to the Holo Journal, which coincidentally nobody in this universe has headphones. But he hears that and he's interested. He's interested because Leia's interested. The Holo Cube of Anakin as a boy that they see, he actually had that up for bid because he's like, you like it, It's like, I don't like it. I'm gonna put that up your butt. But anyway, it was like, he clearly wants to pay, or he clearly pays attention to what she feels and what she sees and all this stuff, which is really cool. But there was that little part where he's like, Shmi's voice is like, oh, it sounds vaguely familiar. And then, he sees the picture of her and it's like, well, yeah, I mean, she's a little weathered, but she's still, pretty and all that.
I could see this being Leia in 20 years.
Yeah, in 20 years and so forth. So, which is interesting because I think they always tried to play it off like Leia would look more like her mother.
Yeah.
But with the elements of Shmi as well, I thought, which coincidentally, I mean, the two actresses, they kind of have that similar facial structure, kind of, and then the hair and everything, sort of the darker hair. So, but Padme also had that as well. But yeah, I thought that was a cool parallel to draw. Again, makes it personal. You see the elements of family. But there was a sort of a shift as well in this book, but I felt that it was very organic, where once Leia sort of reconciles what the Force is trying to tell her and what's in her own heart, she begins to take charge of things. Whereas, like, You know, Han's not in the back seat, but like he gets hurt at one point. They're in the desert and he's like all dried out, you know, bone dry and everything. And he's not, you know, he probably has a little sunstroke, but you know, she begins to build up her confidence and her strength of character because now she's finally kind of balanced out in the Force. And I kind of like that sort of shift where, you know, again, Han is taking all the lead here and then Leia takes the lead. It seems very natural. They both take the lead. I also like the part with Han with the, what were the ships called? The like a seat on a pod racing engine, skitters or scooters or scutters or I don't know. I can't remember.
They didn't call them skiffs, did they?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of it either. But he's showing off like with no help from the computer system, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, the one that they tried to get him to ride at first to see if he could ride the super fast one, like had a fault, but he totally knew about it, and he was able to like tame the beast type of deal. Right. So that was kind of cool, and it makes you wonder if Han could have won a pod race.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, with how many times that he mentions that it'd be impossible, I think that'd be kind of cool. At some point, they would have expanded on that.
What if they actually had a pod racer and Han got in it and then said, "Now this is pod racing." What did you say? Nothing, sweetheart. Just I'm pod racing. I am glad that they didn't have a pod racer in here, though. That would have been too much cheese for me. A little bit too much.
Too much fan service.
Yeah. So, but again, you also kind of see Han towards the end when they're like, he tricks the stormtroopers into thinking like Leia's an officer or something like that. He understands the Empire. Yeah.
Which, by the way, the officer, which is never named in this book,
the lieutenant.
Freaking awesome. I mean, he was on top of all of the tricks. He was messing with the squad leader, like to the point where he like makes him take his armor off. It's like, don't waste the armor. You're clearly going to get killed.
Yeah. Well, you got to see in a very small way, smarter stormtroopers. Like stormtroopers have always been like, again,
efficiency.
Yeah. They've always kind of been like the throwaway red shirts, but in actuality, there are some smart ones. There are some ones who actually can be competent from time to time.
And this fights all the jokes about, stormtroopers can't hit anything. No, this officer is a sharpshooter. He can hit whatever he wants.
Yeah. What did you think about the battle? Because we do eventually have a shootout here at the old Tusken camp where Anakin murdered not only the men, but the women and the children. All of them. I murdered all of them. And then it was kind of dreary because now the Tuskens think there's a ghost, so they bring sacrifices there, which isn't real great. But what did you think about the sort of shootout? Because I actually really enjoyed it.
I did too. I thought it was pretty cool.
Violent.
Not gonna lie, at one point I thought like Chewie straight up ripped off one of the stormtroopers.
His head.
So, and they even have. I think the writer was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I need to fix what I just wrote." And he threw the helmet away, which was empty. No blood all over the... And then they mentioned, the officer's running away. He didn't rip his head off. He's alive. There's no helmet.
His body was still moving like a chicken with his head cut.
Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty sick. It was... I don't know. It felt like it kind of happened all at once. The build-up for that was a little... But it was really satisfying.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I it kind of showed a little bit more tactical stuff, some of the flanking maneuvers and coming up behind. So it wasn't just a straight line that they just quick pew. They actually had to think a little bit and have some exit strategies and stuff like that. So that was an interesting part of it. Poor Kit, man. Kit got tortured. Poor dude.
Yeah, I did. And I love that Kit just bought a book about.
Dude, let's talk about the friends. Let's talk about Kit a little bit. Yeah, tell him about Kit.
I mean, like Anakin leaves him a little bit of money, and he buys a book about What was the
It was like a
title of
book.
the
It was like an etiquette book, like a
Yeah, it was an etiquette book. Yeah,
something
guide
C-3PO
to-
has a copy of.
right. Which is awesome, and like he gets hitched with this super like she's just a jerk. The first wife who's high class and knows more about him.
Yeah, something about he became a domo, which I forgot to look up. I don't remember what the domo title is. I just thought he was like a sommelier at that point.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that. But yeah, he becomes kind of like a ranking he's able to buy his freedom. But yeah, he sort of gets into the high society in Tatooine, I guess. But yeah, he takes this etiquette book and he makes something of himself, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, Leia even mentions that at one point, I think it's about Kit's family, how, you think of all these extravagant places in the universe, Coruscant, whatnot. She mentions, like, they seem to have actually carved out what they consider a portion of happiness in the galaxy. Like, it's not much to her being on Tatooine, but, I mean, he's done well for himself considering his background.
Yeah, okay, so a domo is a steward.
Okay.
Bib Fortuna was Jabba's
major domo.
Major domo. So he was like under a major domo, but he would have been like a steward or something like that. Yeah. So I still want to think he's like a sommelier in a nice Tatooine winery. I mean, it's hot enough, right? Get some nice wine out there. It'd be great.
I also think it's interesting between him and Anakin's other buddy, how adamant they are about how there's no way he could have turned to Darth Vader. Yeah. He's a hero, and I know my buddy, he'd never do that.
Walled a bit more than Kit.
Yes.
Walled,
yes, aggressively so.
Yeah, Walled was like, no, he wasn't Darth Vader. I knew the guy, but like I think Kit probably a little smarter. And also a bit more privy to what happened with Anakin when he came back to Tatooine and killed all the Tuskens. So, yeah, but Wald was he was kind of insulted. You know what I mean? He was insulted that would be, he's not Darth Vader. What are you talking about? But they both made something of themselves on Tatooine, so I got to give it to them. I think that was really neat to see. So I don't know what else do we want to run through?
Not sure.
We could talk about the squibs.
Have the squibs, and what was the other? The Ascagians. That was kind of a cool race.
Yeah. You know what? I don't
know much about.
Well, the whole thing with them is that the mission that Wedge was on was to their homeworld, and they were taking some of them off, but some of them had already left planet. You don't happen to remember that dude's name, do you?
The Ascagian?
Yeah.
No. Let me see if I can recognize it from the character list.
It's cool, but I mean, we can kind of go over the squibs.
Cool dude, very very cool dude.
Yeah, it was interesting guy. Kind of like felt a little nomadic at this point. They did have a village on Tatooine that they didn't let anybody know about, but he did help Han and Leia sort of escape a little bit there and to get out to where they could find the painting and kit. So that was nice of him, and eventually, lied to the Empire to help him sort of brush off the trail. We also had the squibs. Amala.
I don't like the fan art for squibs. I wish I hadn't looked it up.
It's a little ooh-woo, but yeah, Amala, Sly, and Grease. And we met them at the auction. They had a booth full of garbage, basically. But Han and Leia, who were dressed as a Deveronian and a Twi'lek, which we'll talk about here in a second.
Which was awesome.
But they enlisted the squibs to bid for them in secret so that wouldn't draw attention to them, which is smart. But they're pretty masterful at business stuff. They're kind of a little bit unscrupulous at times. They do pop out a lot throughout this whole book, and eventually Amala does wind up with the painting at the very end of the book, as sort of, you know, their final payment to finally close down this deal. But the disguises, it's always baffled me that there hasn't been more in disguising people, but in this book, Han is fake fingerprints and all, skin tinting. He is a Deveronian, and Leia
has fake Leica's.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty sweet.
That just makes a lot of sense to me. Like, you would think that would be able to happen.
They have little voice box things that modulate and change their voice to sound like Deveronian and Twilights. It's just awesome. Yeah,
I mean, it just seems like, why isn't there more of this?
Right.
But they did it, so that was really cool. I like that part of it. Let's see. I also did Quentin. So we had Commander Quentin, who was down on the planet bidding for the painting as well. Don't have a ton on him, it looks like. I don't know. Is this the only? It might be his only appearance. It looks like that was an original kind of thing. But yeah, he was reporting up to Paleon and effectively just that's it. Cool. He bid it on the painting, tried to kill everybody in the thing, and the thing, man. Yeah, they're okay. Quentin.
I did kind of think the whole bidding war, the way that started, was kind of entertaining. Like, that's 275,000.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm aware.
Well, it was also interesting the monetary system at this time, right? So the New Republic,
the comment about New Republic credits. Yeah,
because I mean the New Republic is a government, so they have credits out there, and that's what people are using. I don't remember what Quentin was doubling on. It was another form of currency. It wasn't Imperial credits, obviously. But then, the squib comes back with,
it was flaw. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God, stupid.
Go Mandalorian.
But he's like, 275,100, and that's in Republic credits.
Yeah.
Eventually, the darn thing got all the way up to like 15 million, didn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a ton. But anyway, Quentin was a guy. It happened. I don't know what else.
Did he die?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If he did, we'll never know. This is his first
ceremony
appearance. He was just a dude. So what else? What else do we got to talk about in this one?
Jawa Murder.
Yeah, we do get some stuff with the Jawas, which is interesting, I guess. A sandcrawler encountered Kit after he had crashed, and picked him up, but then they were ambushed by, they first encountered a patrol of stormtroopers, and then they were all ambushed by Tuskens. There was one Jawa, don't remember her name, but she
got a broken leg but survives.
Yeah.
Sole survivor. Yeah.
And helps Han and Leia a little bit to her own ends, so to speak.
Yeah.
But there were Jawas, sand crawler. Yeah, cool.
With
cool
the
stuff.
squibs just straight up trying to steal the sand crawler, and Han outsmarts them, steals apart.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes like those characters like the squibs can be a little annoying. They can just keep popping up. But I didn't really feel like,
I kind of like the squibs.
Yeah, I didn't feel like they were annoying at all.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was kind of weird how they did the whole bidding war thing. Like, clearly there was some miscommunication there, and it was never really expounded upon. But yeah, I like the squibs overall.
Yep, no doubt.
And they really are barely ever used in the Star Wars universe. This might be the only time in a book that I know of that they've been used.
Yeah, true. I'm sure it's out there. I guess a couple of side notes then, if we don't have anything else like super duper crazy to talk about. I mean, I think we've went over a lot.
I would say so.
Paleon. So Galad Paleon is kind of an interesting kind of character, and he's a bit of a survivor too.
Yeah.
I was just kind of skimming stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, he was assassinated by Anakin's buddy. Remember Tahiri?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tahiri kind of went to the dark side. We talked about that in a prior episode.
Yeah.
But she kind of went a little dark side, but anyway, she assassinated Paleon, which I thought was funny. But yeah, he lasted for a while, fought off the Yuuzhan Vong and everything, and then retired. Gosh, there's so much lore in here that I can never remember everything. God, he really was. He has quite a page. This is fun.
I mean, really, at that point, he was the face of the Empire.
Yeah, after a while, for sure. That's funny. Anyway, we'll talk about Paleon more once we continue in New Jedi Order, obviously, but I just thought that was a fun little tidbit. But yeah, he was here. He was here in the Chimera under Thrawn. And
didn't Leia claim, like when she was posing as Stormtrooper, she claimed to be Paleon's
his nephew or something?
Yeah.
Or no, Quentin. Yeah. Quentin's nephew. It was Quentin's nephew.
Oh, was it Quentin's nephew?
They first were going to do.
And the one Stormtrooper's like, good luck keeping him alive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, Paleon is he's a sharp guy. He's pretty sharp overall, but yeah. I just thought that was kind of a cool little thing. Now,
little nod, yeah.
I don't remember if we specifically said this in the beginning, but this is the predecessor to Heir to the Empire, which apparently we're going to have to start in on at some point now, I guess.
I think we should.
But I also did think about this a little bit too, because prior to this, we had the courtship of Princess Leia, which I don't remember. We haven't gone over that, right? I feel like I went over it somewhere, though.
We've talked about the character, the prince, but I don't think we've...
Well, yeah,
I think it was mentioned in another book that we did, but it wasn't that book.
Right. Well, that was the thing, because we had mention of Princess Solder, who... they were all trying to get Leia to marry at some point, but didn't happen.
Actually, that might have been one of the New Jedi Order books.
Maybe, and we dived into it or something like that.
Yeah, actually, I think that was the one where Han finally forgives Anakin, or maybe the book after that focuses on Han with his little buddy.
Yeah. To be honest, that sounds familiar. I feel like what had happened, is that we were in New Jedi Order and then we researched this or something.
Yeah,
because we're the detail. We're detail guys.
Totally.
I don't know. You know what? I'm pretty sure I have that book too, somewhere on the shelf.
Really? Maybe we'll go through that one as well then.
Yeah. Maybe not. Who knows?
But definitely Heir. Eventually,
we do have to get in there. So, I guess any other parting thoughts or kind of connections that we have for this book before we kind of get towards the end?
No, but do we want to go ahead and do a rating on this one? I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I figure we can work in the ratings, so it is out of 5. And actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's check on other ratings. Let's check how everybody else in the world's rating it. Goodreads has 3.8 out of 5. Audible's 4.5 out of 5. What does Amazon have? Probably super.
Goodreads is super low. Wow.
Goodreads usually is 4.5 out of 5 on Amazon, so that's good. I wonder what some of the negative sentiments are on Goodreads. Let's click it and find out. I hate it. It's super dumb. This person, 4 out of 5 stars. I love Leia with my whole heart. And?
That's the review. That's awesome.
The 3-star review, a little surprising. The best part of the books where Leia discovers secret past her father is still Skywalker, Hollow Diary, Force Visions. I don't know. Okay. just didn't care for the plot. Which, to be honest, I understand that.
That's not the plot isn't the focal point of this book at all.
Yeah, not entirely sure if this deserves a clean 3-star review, considering this is as something between 2.5 and 3 stars. Okay. I think this is worst part. Set up the story. Just didn't really care for the setup. Okay.
Yeah.
Valid. I get it. A lot of gifts. That. Holy crap. A lot of gifts in that review. Oh, here's a 1-star review. Yeesh. That was rough. The overall story was a slog to get through, but there were little hints of bridging the prequels. You can skip this book. Well, you know what, Jeremy? Suck it. Yeah, so I think it looks like, at least by just general scrolling, plot.
Right.
I mean, they're getting painting.
I can get that.
But I think some of the supporting stuff was so strong. I don't know how I could.
Yeah, especially everything with the Force and everything with Shmi. I can overlook a weak plot for that all day long.
Yep, no doubt. Well, okay. So what do you think? What's your rating and why?
Out of 5, I'm gonna go with a 4.6. I really enjoyed this book. I thought everything with the Force was awesome. Han was very competent, and just the focus on Han and Leia's relationship, I really appreciated. Everything with Shmi was great, and we got to see so many characters from Tatooine and get kind of a closure to their story, what happened to them after Phantom Menace, and I really just appreciated the fan service of this book. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I can dig that. I'm just at a pretty standard 4.5 on this. Again, really good book. I liked a lot of the extracurricular stuff. I think that writer really wrote Han and Leia extremely well. Didn't overdo the C-3PO stuff. Gave us lots of cool Force tidbits, little nuggies, little Force nuggies to chew on.
Dang Star Wars nuggies.
Yeah, dang Star Wars nuggies. And then, just the other little, kind of fan servicey things, I thought were neat. And overall, good beginning, good end. I don't really have anything to complain about. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book, and it made us, think about the way to save future replacement sequels. It gave us the plot. Yes. The idea, we just got to get
for that.
Yeah, we just got to get Ron Howard and Claudia Gray in a room, and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and we'll sacrifice Kathleen Kennedy to the Star Wars gods, and it'll be fine, right?
Yeah, Mandalorian will do it via an axe.
You just see Pedro Pascal walk in. It's like, should I be here? It's like, it's cool, man. Just sit in the back. We just need you here for moral support, okay? All right, Mando, sit down. My name is Pedro. No, it's Mando now. Thank you. All right, man. Well, I think that's all we've got for this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Definitely encourage you to pick up this book. It is in the middle of the spectrum, though, price-wise on Audible, but a paperback, still readily available, $8, not too bad.
And
half-price bookstore.
Not abridged.
Yeah, not abridged.
Full length.
Not abridged, and only like just over 6 hours. So that was.
And I can see why it wasn't. I mean, there was really nothing I would have cut out.
You know who? You know who I didn't give props to? The narrator. Who is this narrator here?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, actually, the audiobook looked like it went up a little bit. Jonathan Davis. Jonathan Davis. What have you? Oh, Jonathan Davis. Dooku. He read Dooku.
Makes sense.
And Rogue One. The novelization.
I thought he did a
and Weapon of the
excellent
Jedi
job with. Jeez.
And Kenobi.
Yeah.
And apparently, Force Awakens. No, that's a junior novel. Don't know what that is. Rule of Two. Lords of the Sith. The Unifying Force, which is a new Jedi Order book. So apparently, he's been in that. He's done a lot. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So Destiny. Yeah, he's done New Jedi. Okay. Yeah. That's how I know this guy. He's done a lot of old canon. That's why I know him. Okay. I had to think about it. All right. There we go, man. Okay. Be honest. This is like the little morsel for the end. Be honest. Mark Thompson or, you know.
Are you asking which one I like more? Don't ask me that. Not going to answer.
I mean, if you just had to have...
I'm not going to answer that.
You sure?
But they are both great. It's great because we can't just have Mark Thompson for everything. It would get old quickly.
I've had some battles with some of the recent Mark Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh, he did Tempest Runner, or he's doing Tempest Runner.
Oh, really? That would be great.
Wait, did we do Tempest Runner? No, I think we were going to skip Tempest Runner, weren't we? It was the end of last month.
Is that the...
We skipped it. We didn't do it. I think we were both a little bit annoyed, so we didn't do it.
Tempest Runner is the audio one, is it?
I think it is, yes.
Okay. Well, I wonder how he'll say Marchion Road.
However the overlords say, I'm sure. Listen,
yeah.
I've been a little bit annoyed personally with Mark Thompson. I'm getting a little bit. Oh goodness, he's done okay. Yeah, he's done some Old Republic, some Darth Bane. Yeah, okay, I'm remembering this guy.
What if he did Revan?
Dude, I'm not sure about that.
No mention of it.
I'm just scrolling through. I can actually look it up. Nope, that was Mark Thompson. Listen, okay. I'm not trying to bash Mark Thompson. He's fine, but sometimes I need you to read faster. I just need you to get over it and just go faster. Yeah, Davis's book Thompson, readings of a lot of these are much quicker. Holy crap. Much quicker.
Yeah, and I'll mention it on that because I don't ever listen on normal speed. But with Davis, I had it at about 1.4 and it was comfortable. Thompson, I usually run 1.8, almost, sometimes 2 times speed. Yeah, he's slow.
He's done a lot. Catalyst, the Rogue One novel. He's got a lot. I mean, he's done a lot of work just in general. But, okay, he did Master and Apprentice too. Yep.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
So he's doing all of the audio stuff too, though.
Well, he's done all the novelizations too, it seems like. Movie novelizations. This is really riveting, I'm sure, for a lot of people at the end of the episode who are really just ready to go home but can't stop listening.
People who read the book and don't care about Audible.
Yeah, listen, man. I'm just saying, I don't want to dog. I don't want to dog him too much, and we'll end on this. I know there was a couple minutes of extra there, but I'm starting to maybe want a little bit less Mark Thompson. No offense, he's good. I get a little bit tired of some of the voices.
Yeah.
Some of them. Sometimes I just want a guy to read. And I think if we mesh these guys, give them the 1-2 punch a little bit better, that'd be okay. And you know what? Some of our ladies who have been doing some of the books. I was gonna bring up the Queen series. Who read the Queen series now?
Yeah, honestly, the ladies of Audible have been great lately.
It was the voice. It was the voice of Padme, Catherine Tabor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, God, she was amazing. I love the voice of the Queen's
I wish
books.
she would have broke through and did quite a few more. I mean, not just Alphabet and Padme's stories. Let's get them into some of the bigger stuff. Let's get them into even what was the last High Republic we just read?
Oh, yeah.
One with Syl. One with Silvestri.
Yeah. Yeah, you know the one.
Yeah.
That one that we
were. The woman that read that was great. Absolutely great.
Well, the narrator for Alphabet, Saskia Marleveld. sure I'm butchering that. She was good too. I enjoyed her reading. I mean,
yeah, I mean, no one else could hear it well, but her.
Yeah, we didn't really enjoy Alphabet Squadron as much, but
No.
the narration was good. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Looks like it might have changed. So the first one was that person. The second one, Carol Monda, and then the last one was January Lavoie. That's who I was trying to think of. I love January Lavoie. I honestly, I like hearing her readings of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, do you think people are bored of hearing about narrators yet?
Probably.
Sick. Okay. Well,
we're gonna do a top 10 narrators.
We're done. We are 100% done now. Thank you very much. Seriously though, folks, we hope you enjoyed the episode, and hopefully you read some of these books that we're trying to put out there. There's a lot of great books in the Star Wars universe that aren't necessarily attached to canon. So get out there and read. It's a very important thing. And, let us know if you enjoyed. Follow us on Facebook. Find us on Twitter at TC Plan Podcast. Just send us a good old communication through the email network to tcplanpodcast@gmail.com. Anything you send in, we'll definitely discuss, unless it's terrible. But if it's good, we'll definitely discuss it. But anyway, that's it for this week. You guys have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force be with you.